never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Hopefully everybody is looking forward to the long weekend one way or another. I know most people have a job where you get a paid day off for Christmas, and some are getting that day off today on this Friday, and some are getting it on Monday. So either way, most people have a 3-day weekend, so hopefully everybody's looking forward to that. But today here on the channel, we're going to preview some NFL football. After this weekend, there's only going to be 2 games remaining in the regular season in the 2022 NFL season, and most of the games this week are going to be tomorrow. There's very few games coming up on Sunday, but the NFL weekend kicked off last night. Thursday night football, the Jaguars defeated the Jets by the score of 19-3. The Jaguars had 4 field goals. They actually missed one, so they attempted 5. And Zach Wilson lost his job a few weeks back because of his attitude. Mike White got the starting job, and then Mike White got hurt. So Zach Wilson started last night, but he got benched in favor of Chris Streveler. And if you've never heard of him, he'll be 28 years old coming up in a couple of weeks, but he played college football at South Dakota State. So we'll see whether or not Zach Wilson or Chris Streveler gets to start for the Jets next week if Mike White is not cleared to return. And I know I mentioned a few days ago here on the channel, but the Jaguars actually still have a legitimate chance of winning their division. And if they can win their last 2 games, they'll end the season on, I believe, a 4 or 5 game winning streak, and they'll finish above 500. That's hard to believe considering they were really bad last year, and they got off to a bad start this year. Now, coming up on Saturday, we have the Buffalo Bills against the Chicago Bears. We also have the Washington Commanders going up against the San Francisco 49ers. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles have a 3-game lead in that division over the Cowboys with 3 games to go. I don't think the Eagles lose their last 3 games, so I think it's safe to say they win that division. But Jalen Hurts is not going to start tomorrow. It's going to be Gardner Minshew getting the start for the Eagles. And then we have the Battle of the Birds, the Falcons and the Ravens. And of course, Desmond Ridder made his first career start last week. He didn't really do a whole lot. The Falcons were extremely conservative until late in the game when they realized if they don't open the playbook, they're not going to win. So Ridder didn't make any mistakes, but he didn't really do a whole lot. I don't expect much different tomorrow because the Ravens' offense has been absolutely terrible, and Lamar Jackson is out again. Hundley will get the start, but they say Hundley's not healthy, so you may see Anthony Brown play again for the Ravens. Now, the Ravens had to go out earlier this week and sign Sammy Watkins. Now, Sammy Watkins played for the Ravens in the past, but in the offseason, he signed with the Packers. He only had 13 catches, so they released him, and the Ravens signed him, and he's probably the best receiver the Ravens have right now. I believe they're down to 4 wide receivers. Now, why they don't bring up at least one off their practice squad roster, I don't know. But here on the channel last year, I talked about how they had lost 4 or 5 running backs to season-ending injuries. It's been that way this year with the wide receivers, and now Lamar Jackson's been out for quite a long period of time. It's not certain he'll be back this year in the regular season. I think if they make the playoffs, he'll be back. But he still hasn't signed a long-term contract. So if he doesn't return in the regular season and the Ravens don't make the playoffs, you may not see Lamar Jackson in a Baltimore Ravens uniform again. But until the Ravens realize football's changed and you can no longer win by running the ball 45 times a game, they've done about as good as they're going to do, because they're playing like it's the Trent Dilfer team 20 years ago. All they want to do is line up, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and throw the ball about 15 times a game. And you can't do that anymore in football and beat anybody worth a darn. You just can't do it. And that's why ever since they've had Lamar Jackson, they've been really good in the regular season, but they struggle in the playoffs because the teams they play stop the run. And when they have to throw, they just can't do it. And don't come at me about Lamar Jackson had just one really good game here and there in the playoffs. I know that. But overall, as a whole, when the playoffs start, if the Ravens make it, their running game gets shut down and they're done, because they try to live and die by playing good defense and having the offense not screw it up. And you can't win like that anymore consistently. Then we have the Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers also on Saturday. The Lions have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs this year. Then we have the Seahawks and the Chiefs. The Saints and the Browns might be another low-scoring game, because since Deshaun Watson's came back, you could tell he's got some rust. And the Saints' offense has just been average all year long. Then we have the Texans and the Titans. Now, the Titans have lost Ryan Tannehill for the season, which to me is a good thing, because I think Ryan Tannehill is absolute complete doo-doo. A hot pile of doo-doo. A hot pile of garbage, stinking doo-doo. And Malik Willis will now be their starter. Now, Malik Willis got the start earlier this year in a game where Tannehill was out, but they didn't really let him run, and that's the best part of his offense. If he can run effectively, he can become a better thrower, but without him running the ball, he's not going to throw the ball consistently. But I think now with the Titans' playoff hopes being on the line, especially they wrap the season up with the Jaguars and Malik Willis now being their starter, I expect him to run the ball a lot more. Then we have the Bengals and the Patriots, the Giants and the Vikings, and the Raiders and the Steelers is the primetime game on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, we have 3 games, 1 in each time slot. Early afternoon, we have the Packers and the Dolphins. Late afternoon, the Broncos and the Rams. And Sunday night, we have the Bucks and the Cardinals. And Monday Night Football, we have the LA Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. Matt Ryan got benched earlier this year for Sam Ehlinger. He got his job back. Now he's benched again in favor of Nick Foles. So if you watch Monday Night Football, you get to see Nick Foles. Now, this year in the NFL, you see why they have a salary cap. A lot of people always question that. The people that do not like the NFL, they claim that's the reason why they don't like it, because of the salary cap To me, it makes it better. It makes it more entertaining. It makes it a bit more of an even playing field. And it's obvious this year because right now, with 3 games to go in the regular season, the Buffalo Bills, the San Francisco 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Kansas City Chiefs are by far and away the best 6 teams in the NFL. My personal opinion, as of right now, the best team is the Bengals, only because Joe Burrow is playing like it's nobody's business. He's playing lights out right now. If he keeps this up, ain't nobody beating the Bengals. And then the 5 worst teams are the Bears, the Texans, the Broncos, the Rams, and the Cardinals. So we have 6 elite teams and we have 5 terrible teams. Now that's 11 teams. The other 21 teams are all bunched up right in the middle, and they can win any given week or lose any given week. But honestly, even though those 6 teams I just mentioned are the best 6 teams, if none of those won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they're the best right now, and they've been the best for the whole season. But none of them are so good they can't be beat. There's just not a team this year in the NFL that you watch and you say, man, that team's unbeatable. Look at the Chiefs. Yeah, their record's great. They're a great team, but they struggled last week to beat the Houston Texans. So if anybody ever asks you why there's a salary cap, you can point at this year. There's just no elite team. Yeah, we have those 6 teams who are the best, but they're all still beatable. And then those 5 bad teams are just beyond repair. There's no hope for them. But the other 21 teams are all stuck right in the middle. So it should be a very exciting playoffs this year in the National Football League. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What did the cake say to the fork? You want a piece of me? And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.